guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do another color from the CMW workbook, and it's going to be PC 915 Lemon Yellow. I'm also going to talk about Canary Yellow because they're very similar and they sort of react with the colors in the same way. If you're working out of the master's book, you're going to get out one of these sheets. You're going to make a copy and write in PC 915 Lemon Yellow. Do not write on your master sheet. You're going to be making copies of page 21, 22, and 23. I'm going to also include information about Canary Yellow. It's kind of going to be the same, so you might want to get out the Canary Yellow and just mark off also on that sheet, because when we come back, we're going to skip over Canary Yellow and we're going to move on to the yellowed orange. And we're going to start the yellow oranges. So right now we're going to be finishing up the pure yellows. The demonstration for this video is going to come in another video because it's just too long. And we're going to be doing candlelight and candlelight reflective in mirror. I promised you guys that ever since we got the Color It Dragons book. They had a really good picture in there, and a lot of people got excited when I said, oh, I can't wait to do this one with a reflection. So that's what we're going to do with the lemon yellow. We're going to go through the colors very quickly. I do have the Polychromos comp. Since we've gone through a lot of the yellow colors already, and basically we're moving on to the next actual whole color, I just wanted to show you a comparison so you can get an overview and not just the individual colors. Here you have lemon yellow, and it is a very bright yellow. Now I say it is very close to canary yellow. Canary yellow is just a tinge more orange as you're moving towards the orange colors. They're really used interchangeably. And you can actually highlight using the lemon yellow and the canary yellow together. It makes a perfect combination when wanting to highlight something that is bright yellow. One color down, when you want to dull down this color, I would go to the cream. You can use eggshell too, but if you want to get a really stark difference, here we have the cream going into the lemon yellow and the canary yellow, and you could see the progression how canary yellow is getting to be more orange. On the Polychromos side, if we're going to compare it to the Polychromos, we have the light yellow glaze right here. And if you compare that to the lemon yellow, you've got a very good match. Basically, you can intermingle them and you're not going to really see too much of a difference. So that is the comp for this. And when you're getting into the canary yellow, which is a little bit more orange, where as we're moving across the sheets, we're getting into the more orangey colors. And this is the beginning of the orangey. So you have that. And you can comp that with the Naples yellow, which is slightly more orange, but there are other matches. We've got light chrome yellow, which is practically identical to the canary yellow. So you can have these three comping, and we have these two comping with not much of a difference. Now remember, your polychromos are going to lay down differently. Polychromos do not blend as well. Prismacolors are meant for blending together, but what's nice about the polychromos is that when you put down a layer of polychromos, it's going to stay there. So you can add things on top of it without having to worry about it becoming completely blended. You can mix the two brands, and this goes over the polychromos very nicely. So you can get different hues and different shading. Remember, even this is a shaded difference, and you can create bumps and lines and things, ins and outs, craters and hills and valleys using just one hue difference. So these are your comp pencils, and we're going to move on to the actual workbook. You can get this workbook. The link is in my description. PDF version includes 460 odd pages, and it's all printed out for you. The master's version includes 16 full pages, and it's the master version. The only difference is that you are writing in your color. You will be able to get your color match. Let's take a look at it a little bit closer. Okay, the key to the dots is the top is the blend, and this is if it works with a palette. A palette are two colors that can work next to each other but might not necessarily blend very well. So you can have all different combinations that I will be giving you of whether or not those pencils are good together. So we're going to start with the cream, the ginger root, artichoke, eggshell, all of these colors that go yellow, lemon yellow, canary yellow, through the oranges and down into the reds are all green light, both for the blend and the palette. Now, the reason why these colors work together, well, first, yellow goes with yellow, so there is no issue with that. But orange is a combination of red and yellow. So since there is already yellow in orange, they're all going to blend very nicely together. There should be no problems mix and matching any of these colors, so just pull them out, and anything you pick up off your desk will look nice together. As we're getting into the reds, you're going to get into like the fire colors where you can really show a distinction. And that goes all the way through the reds. We've got the mulberry, the hot pink, the rose, nectar. Nectar is starting to get a little beigeish, just keep that in mind. But all of these, the pinks, the pink is a tint of red. So it is red mixed with white. White mixes with every color in the Prisma set. And as we go down with the light peaches and the seashells, salmon pink, they're all green lights. Remember, this is a primary color. Red, yellow, and blue are primary colors. That means nothing mixes to create it. So yellow is just yellow. What all these other colors have in common is yellow is mixed with another color. They're all secondary and tertiary colors. So whenever you have a primary, you're most likely going to match up with a lot of things. But okay, now we're getting into the rosy beige. This is going to be a matter of taste. And I left it blank because really there's no reason you can't use them together, and they do blend, but it's a matter of taste. Would I use lemon yellow with clay rose? Maybe in something someday I'll pick it up, but it's not something that really comes to mind where I'm going to just automatically use it. Maybe some landscaping when you want to bring the mountains to the sun, it would work. The blending together is not horrible, but it's just not something that I would think, oh, I need my lemon yellow to mix and blend with my clay rose to create anything. So I kind of left these three blank as far as they're up to your own taste and what you're creating. One of my favorite colors combinations that mix with lemon yellow is over here, and that's the salmon pink. I think salmon pink brings out the lemon yellow really nicely. This would make a gorgeous flower, and it's very natural. And so this is one of my hot ones that I like to use a lot. There's a couple in there that I really like to use a lot. Okay, now we're mixing into the purples. Now this is going to get a little bit complicated. Purple is created using red and blue. Yellow mixed with blue is green. Okay, so you have to be very careful that you're not, depending on the purple that you're using, it may create sort of like, it's not a total mess, but the blends itself are not the greatest. You also have some darker colors that overshine this color. Now, if you look at the black cherry, you will get a little bit of an orange mixed in together with it. You could see it forming over here. That might have been in fire. That you might, it's not going to ruin your picture. It's okay. Oh, I'm not filming it right here. You could see there's an element of fire in it, but that would be on the darker side, maybe the bottom part of where fire begins, where it's near the coals and the char. That's not bad. As you're going through, grade yellow. This one I left blank, and it's a gray area. When we move on to the grays, you're going to see gray does not mix with yellow. It's the only color in yellow is the only color that does not in tone. You can create other colors with it, but once you try to change yellow as its pure form by adding black or gray to it to darken it, it's not going to form another color. It's not going to change into another color, or it's not going to change the black, and what you get is that muddy, yucky, you don't really want it, dirty up your picture color. So what I do is I try to stay away from the grays as much as possible. Except for today, I'm going to teach you a little trick on how you can use them together. Okay, moving into the lavenders, I think this makes a very nice orange together. And the dahlia purple and the parma violet, these are all really very pretty colors that create a nice orange. You're not really getting the blue in there that's hard enough that it's going to change it to green. Now you have, I'm going to bring up, now you're getting into the darker purples where the green is really going to come out more, and it's not an attractive color mix. Black grape does not blend with yellow very pretty. Diazidine purple hue, it's not something that I was going to mix. Now you have the violet. Well, that's a very much of a nature color together. In fact, you actually find them in pansies. This is the combination for pansies. I don't recommend completely mixing them or blending them together because it does get a little muddy, as you can see. So, but it does, if you look at the yellow and the purple together, this is a very pretty combination and a very natural combination. Now, I put green marks over here for the imperial, the blue, the violet. I put yeses on there, especially with the blends. I did not put a yes over here, and we'll talk about that. The reason why I put a yes for the blending is these colors are so dark and so overpowering that you're not going to actually see the yellow in there, so it's not really going to have too much of an effect on it. Once you get to the violet blue, the blend on the violet blue, this really has a lot of blue in it. And if you're looking for that purple, look what happens right in between when I start to mix. If I use the Prismacolor, it'll work a little bit better. And as I said, you got that green mixing in there. You're not going to get that orange. The blue is starting to take over, and it's more of a green mix, and it's a muddy green mix. So you're really having a lot of secondary colorations blending together, and it doesn't work that well. But as you go on, the next color, in Dathrone Blue, this does create a nice green. There's enough in the blue and less in the red that it's not going to give you that muddied look. And look how nice they blend together. So there you have that. It's a good combination. Ultramarine, it's not horrible. It's, if you look at it closely, it's still a little muddied. It's not the greatest, but it does make a good palette. And then you're going into the cobalt blue that's a little bit lighter. You're starting to mix into the lighter or move into the lighter blues. And here you could see the green is starting to come out. And you get sort of like a marine green when you mix the cobalt and the yellow, and it's not bad. It's definitely a doable color. China blue does the same thing. If you mix them and blend them together, you're going to get a very nice green and a very nice gradient. Copenhagen is a little darker, but it's a very bluey blue, so you're going to get that green. And basically all of these colors going down are going to do the same thing. The green is going to come out nicely. This is one of my favorites. I even marked it peacock blue mixed with lemon yellow. Look how bright and jeweled that green comes out. And this is a very good color combination if you're coloring emeralds. Okay, we do a lot of coloring jewels. This is the color you want to mark. So definitely put a check mark in here if you're going in for the emeralds. This is the color combination you're going to want. And it moves on as the blues get lighter down to the indigo. The indigo really turns dark, but it's very, very blue. And so you're going to get a darker green, and it's going to mix, and it's going to be lovely. Look how nice that is. Because now we're moving into some of the purer blues. Non-photo blue, you're going to get sort of like an aqua, and it's very nice. You have, this is one of my favorite combinations. It just happens to be, as I said, it turns aqua. And here we have the actual light aqua, and this is one of my favorite color combinations when it comes to lemon yellow and canary yellow. All of these react the same way, whether it be canary yellow or lemon yellow or any of the polychromos colors that I gave you as interchangeable. They would be identical to these. This is another one that I really like a lot, the aquamarine and the cobalt turquoise. And you're moving into the green colors, starting with the light green. And since yellow and blue make green, you're going to have a green light going everywhere except for the grade colors. Now, trying to find this color. Okay, the gray-green light, this is going to be a matter of taste. It's not something I really love. You're starting to move from the yellow into the grayer colors, and gray doesn't really mix very well with yellow. I probably wouldn't use this combination. It's light enough that it's not going to do damage to anything or create that much of an eyesore on your picture. If you're using these two colors near each other, it's fine. It's a matter of taste, whether you like it as a palette. And it's sort of the same way with the sage, with the pale sage, but I kind of liked it together. If I was going to put my pencil to the paper and I had a choice of what I was going to choose, I would not pick the gray-green light to go with this. I would go over, and if I needed this color combination, I would move over to the pale sage because it just reacts nicer and it shows up more. Yellow chartreuse is a very close combination match to lemon yellow. This, when you're doing fruit, the actual lemon in a fruit basket or off a tree, this is the combinations. In fact, I was going to film this yesterday. This is from my lemon tree, and you could see as the lemon color, this is the flower of it. I don't have any that are blooming now. But you see this whole entire color combination just works with each other, and it's because it's natural. This is the actual lime peel and chartreuse are actually the colors of the lemons as they're ripening. And it's funny, you could just, if there's an unripened area on a lemon that you're using, because they're not pure yellow, and these are the color combinations. Moss green does mix with yellow. It's an ugly combination. I can't imagine even doing it, but it's a matter of taste in the actual picture. I don't know what you would use this for. It's not attractive, but it's a matter of taste. It's not going to destroy anything. And then you have the green ochre, and spring green is a very light, bright green, and this is one of the nicer combinations. This reminds me of Easter. Your Easter basket colors you would have right there. And the same thing with the apple and the sap green light. They're all going to create that bright green color. Of course, true green, Kelly green, grass green, olive green, they're all going to react in the same way. And let's see, moving this. So all of these are going to be green. Actually, on this sheet, I think there's only one that I put the gray-green light that I didn't like, and then a couple at the top that just did not work out because of the tertiary color situation. Okay, now here's where it gets to be the ugly colors. Okay, now we're going putty beige. I am convinced matches nothing, and I'm going to be stubborn about it until I actually do putty beige and really test out all the colors. I've never used putty beige in anything, and it's kind of like a joke, I'm going to abuse this pencil someday. I'm saying no, but in actuality, if I wasn't, prejudiced against putty beige, it's not going to destroy anything. It was better than some of the other combinations that mixed with putty. And you've got your umbers. Your umbers are moving into the browns. Now, brown is one of those colors that is created by all the different colors mixed together. So you can have gray browns, which would be more like your French grays, are going towards the gray brown, which is the nature colors. Or you could have the red browns, you can have the yellow browns. It is a combination. How they create brown is by mixing all the different colors together, and that's why it's called mud, because sometimes you can get a really nice one, like you have over here. Tuscan red is a red brown. Burnt ochre is a red brown. Sienna brown is a red. Terracotta. They're all very natural, very pretty, but then you can get into the really ugly mud, like you have just, like what you get out of your vacuum cleaner when you clean it out. So it's all how much of each color you add, the amount. So I have a lot of colors here. Now I want you to take a look at right in the middle here, and I'm saying you have to be very careful. Here is espresso. When I do the demo for this, I'm going to be mixing the yellow and the espresso. I wanted to show you that it is possible to be mixing some of these colors in small amounts and it to come out working really well. So on the warm grays, you can get away with it with the very light ones where the color is not going to react. The lemon yellow is really going to dominate. You will get a little dirty when you're mixing. You could see as I mix it more. Now, when I'm talking about blending, I'm talking about the actual color that is created when these two colors are mixed together like cake batter. I'm not talking about how they sit next to each other. Now, you can get away with with the lighter And then you get like to the 30%, and it really becomes the color of what you take out of your vacuum cleaner. And it's going to work the same way with the cool grays. You can get away with the really lighter ones. That's the 10%. Starting with the 30, it's the same thing. You're really going to start to muddy up. And then by the time you get to the darker grays, it's a no. Black does not blend well. In fact, you can ruin a picture if you're mixing your black and your yellow together as a mix. As they sit next to each other as a palette, really the black this should have been green. I was going too quick because what do you have? You've got a bumblebee. And you could see that you can use black and yellow is used a lot. So this is incorrect. Don't look at that. It should be green. Okay, so we're moving into the French. It goes the same way. The lighter French, I'm not thrilled. I would stay away from it, but is it going to ruin your picture? No, it's just a tiny bit of mud. Everybody's pictures have a tiny bit of mud, especially when you're using multiple layers. But we're going to learn a little bit, some tricks, what artists do. As soon as I'm finished with this, I'm going to tell you about a couple of things to get it to work. So here you have the same, the 10, 20, the 30 is starting to go no and working through. Slate gray, the blend is not that bad. Slate gray has a lot of blue in it. So you're going to get that dirty-ish, grayish green, but that might be necessary in a picture. It's not an awful one. Certainly as a palette, they look fine next to each other. It's going to muddy up your yellow a little bit, but not as bad as some of the other ones. White mixes with white, with every color that there is. Silver, and you're getting into your metallics. Nothing really blends with metallic colors. When you blend something with a metallic color, what you're going to get is a dulling of the metallic appearance of it. So when you're using the metallic colors with yellow, I suggest it to be more in a palette. Of course, metallic gold and metallic bronze are two colors that I often use when creating the color. I don't just color something and say, oh, it's a crown, a jeweled crown. I wouldn't just color it in the metallic gold and say, oh, it's a crown. It's not going to look very crown-like or shiny gold. This is just a color, and it sits very nicely next to this as a highlight. And whenever I do my gold palettes, I always include the metallic version in it to give it a little bit of a sparkle. Here for the bronze, it works the same way. With the silver, you don't use yellow in silver because it's really very gray and yellow, and it's just not a color that reflects off the silver unless maybe it's tarnished. And we have the same thing with the neon colors. The neon colors look very nice with the lemon yellow. The lemon yellow is actually very close in color to the lemon yellow and neon yellow, and they look very nice together. This is a workable situation, and it's so close in color that even doing a little bit of a blend doesn't hurt it. And there's plenty of things where you want to brighten up. This is the only brighter color. Lemon yellow is basically the brightest yellow that you can have in the Prismacolor set. And if you mix it with the neon color, and the neon goes a little bit brighter, but it's a fluorescent neon. When you want to do this is especially a nice color to use on black paper. And have the same thing with the neon orange. A little bit is not bad being blended, and I don't usually say to blend anything with your neons Neons are kind of like standalone specialty colors, but it's not bad, and it's definitely a nice combination. And I do love the lemon yellow and the neon pink. It will orange up a bit into a very bright orange, which is very pretty. Okay, and that takes us through the workbook, and we're going to give you some practical information now about it. As I said, the next video I'm going to give to you is going to be the demonstration using these yellows together and with the dark colors. All the colors I told you not to use, I'm going to show you how to use them together. Okay, now I want to give you a little practical information about using yellow in general. And here is your lemon yellow, and say you're coloring in whatever, okay? You have to be very careful when you're going, say you're going to mix in, if I have any other Prismacolor colors here. So here's an area on your picture that you've colored and used yellow. Your base color is yellow. I'm going to color a little bit of brown over it. You want to keep your yellow and your brown as your mixture. You have to be very careful with what goes on your pencil. And I'm talking about the little bits and pieces. Now I've used brown on here. And if you could see you get those little tiny flecks that come off your other pencils. Well, they get squished into, and you can see if you look closely at my pencil that it's not pure yellow going around. And those are all the dust from other colors. Now you have to be careful because whatever dust comes on here, you actually are going to smear into your yellow. And if you want something to look bright yellow, now if you look closely on here, I've brought those flecks and stuff up in here, and I've dragged them from the tip, and look at what my tip looks like. And just, it looks like somebody used it to get lint off something. You must make sure every time you use a yellow, you clean it off. And look what I'm taking off my yellow. Now imagine if I went to another picture or another area that I didn't want the brown. Just what came off of this pencil. So now the tip is clean. Now, if you want to work in something that's really, really, you need to keep clean, bright, and yellow, you can clean this off with a little paper towel and a little mineral spirits. You just clean it and it should take it off. Most of the time, I just, I have a scrap piece of paper and I clean off my yellows. The same thing goes for white. See, I've been cleaning it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here it is, right there, that ugly spot that you get. So it's getting cleaner, but it's still, even that little bit of dirt that's on there is going to come off on your picture in a spot that you don't want it. So you see right here, I have a red. Now, I didn't even use red right now, and I could see what just came off in it right there. And I've been cleaning this for a while now. So just keep in mind that it has to be really, really clean. And the same thing with your whites. You got to clean your white pencils off very well before you use it. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do to get if you have to bring a yellow and a brown together, you can actually buffer the color in between with your white pencil. Let me see if I can get a white pencil here. Okay, I have my polychromos white here. So say I'm working with my yellow, and I need to bring brown close to it but not blended to it. You can add a protection of a little bit of white over that yellow. Okay, now it's not really changing up the color all that much that your eye will notice, but it'll keep a protective barrier to have. Now you can go with your brown coming very close to it. And because you've got like a white in between, they're not going to blend that easily, and you're not going to get that muddied appearance. Okay, you went from this, which is getting muddy, to this, which is pretty clean. So that's another trick that you can use. Now, say you have a third trick that you can use to keep your colors separate but together is, say you have to do another layer on it, okay? There are sprays that you can use, and I was hoping, that's why I kind of put this one off. I was hoping to have the sprays in my hand. I'm going to have to do them in another video. They're called fixative sprays, and some of them actually will add tooth onto your page. Most of the workable fixatives will do this. Now, there's some that are expensive and some that are cheap. Krylon makes a very good one. Krylon workable fixative. I've ordered a different brand was very expensive, but I'm starting to do real artwork again, and I need a archival. Even I think Krylon is archival, but I wanted a really, really good archival fixative, and that is will add a layer in between, and even to the point where if you use mineral spirits, it won't blend your mineral spirits with it. So what you can have, if you do that, is say you worked on a yellow and you need to add a distinct layer of brown over it without blending it. You spray a little of the fixative, make it in between. It dries clear, hard, it's odorless, colorless, and then you can go, it will put that hard barrier between your grays and your yellows and your browns and your yellows without creating a mess in that color. And especially when you're working on multiple layers, and say you have the yellows and then you need to bring in a brown over it for whatever reason, but you don't want them mixed, and then you have to blend out that brown with another color, and that is a recipe for disaster if you don't have anything in between. So we're going to go through I'm going to be doing a video on the workable fixatives. But just for now, that's just giving you the knowledge and the option that there are ways that you can bring them together. Now, the next video I do, I'm actually going to do a demonstration of how you need to bring the browns but keep your yellows clean. And I will show you exactly how to do it. So that will be coming out tomorrow. I just have a tiny bit at the end to edit, and it's ready. I will see you tomorrow. If you want to get your worksheets, again, you can get, there is a variety of different worksheets that we use for the CMW, and they're all available on my Etsy shop, link in the description. And I will see you guys. If you have any questions for me, you know my email is always open to you. I always answer if you have a picture that you've completely screwed up and you want some tips on how to do it. In fact, I just got some pictures in today from somebody who wanted to show me. She did fabulous. I love it. She did my clouds. I swear to God, the cloud that she did, you would have thought I did it. In fact, it looks like the cloud that I used as a demo. So I'm really proud of her. She did fantastic. I want to know what the book is that she used. She did a house, and it was very, very cool. So I want to get that information from her to pass on to you because it was such a cool picture. I'm seeing such good progression since people have started working with my workbooks and following my videos, and they've showed me before and after pictures, and I'm just astounded at how fast you guys are moving along and how much more skills you're getting. I know people have told me, but I've never seen it. Now I'm really beginning to see it from so many different people. So keep them coming. I'm always open for you guys. Any questions, I will get back to you. Take care, and I will see you in my next video tomorrow. Take care.